alternatives to probate. So again, do you actually need probate, or is there another alternative? In Arizona, we have a personal property affidavit for bank accounts, vehicles, and stock, and then also a real property affidavit for real estate. So the personal property affidavit, that's available if the total things that you need to collect are worth less than $200,000. Now, this limit was just increased recently. Traditionally, for a long time, it was around $75,000. So they increased it quite a bit. There is a 30-day waiting period, so you have to wait 30 days after the date of death, and then you file this affidavit directly with the bank, the brokerage, or the DMV if it's a vehicle, and there's no court filing required. The real property affidavit, there's a $300,000 limit. That is after liens, and so if there's a mortgage on the house, we look at the total equity, and you have to wait 6 months from the date of death to be able to file that real property affidavit. So the in-between, now with these new limits being increased so high, there's a lot of people in this space that I call it the in-between. What that is where they may qualify for one of these substitutes, either personal property or real property affidavit, but they may still be better off doing a probate. Another reason I call this the in-between is if you do a personal property affidavit, you don't officially get appointed as a personal representative of the estate. There's no clear authority. You don't get a tax ID number. You're not going to open up an estate bank account. You just collect each asset one by one. So another potential problems with personal property affidavits is some banks and federal agencies refuse them. So the law is permissive, stating that places may accept them, but they don't have to. So federally, they don't accept them. Now, the more accounts you have, the more risk. So I had this lady recently, she was pretty savvy. She was able to collect 6 accounts through personal property affidavits. And some of those took multiple submissions, which is not uncommon. Oftentimes it gets rejected the first time. So you got to submit it again. You got to explain that in Arizona, this is a substitute to probate. Now, some places, they still won't accept it. Now, what happened with her is the 7th place would not accept it. They had, they forced her to do a probate. So she went through a lot of work proving the authority in that in-between space to 6 accounts, but because the 7th one required a probate, we had to go through probate. It would have been a lot easier if we did probate in the beginning, and then she just had the clear authority. So when probate may be better, the number of heirs. So if there's only one person, then it can be pretty easy to collect either a house or a bank account. But if you have more people, that can be more difficult. And number of accounts, like I just discussed, the more accounts, more likely that one place may not accept that personal property affidavit, so to do probate anyways. And if you need to sell the house faster, a lot of times people come to us and the house is in pre-foreclosure, so they need to sell it as soon as possible to save the equity. So in that case, they can get the authority faster by doing probate instead of waiting 6 months from the date of death. Some other considerations is sometimes there's problems later. Sometimes the title companies don't like the real property affidavits. They may require a probate later. I've seen that happen quite a bit. If there's a question about the title transfer from years ago, they require a probate. So again, if you do the probate and the PR gets appointed, then the deed is clean.